It's the Eggla and Badger Show.
That's amazing. Look at that.
You're gonna live. I'm pretty sure.
It's funny how I can tell by 95.
You got 95% oxygen saturation.
Oh, I got it.
Most people got 99. Red blood cells. They're the only cells in the body that don't have a nucleus because they don't divide. They're just
A carrier.
Their only use is carrying oxygen. We ain't got no room for nucleus.
We don't need none of
that shit. It's amazing.
Yeah.
Those fucking little protoglites, things that go in there and find bad bacteria and eat them. There's something else. The way they identify it, I can understand how your body can get confused and start attacking itself because it's got these fucking things that can destroy anything.
Totally. There's all sorts of stuff. And regenerate it.
I grew my finger back, dude. That was fucking like a weed growing a potato back or something.
What do you mean? You cut your finger?
I froze this finger with nitrous oxide.
When?
1995.
You froze it? You what? You just cut all the oxygen off to it?
I froze it really bad with nitrogen tank. It was in my car. I was going to bring this tank to Tim Leary's birthday. Tim's 75th birthday when it happened.
Oh, I got it.
I had the tank in my car. It was at my house. I'm in my parking garage. My buddy lived on the 4th floor, and I'm like, fuck, I can't carry this fucking tank up to the 4th floor, but I want to do a couple of balloons. So I'm like in my car, I had these big fucking balloons for the birthday party. Big fucking black balloons. Like this fucking big. I had the tank there. It's full. Luckily it was pointed away from me. And I carefully and filled the balloon up. I did this big fucking balloon. I was like, good. I want to do more.
Oh.
I swear that balloon was on.
Oh.
I fucking cranked it up.
Wow.
I blew my and I saw it there for a millisecond, frozen. I could see the ice crystals on the outside of the damn thing. Then it was gone. I saw it so clearly. The balloon there, frozen with the ice crystals on it for a second. It was like when you see that kind of thing. I was sitting there like, whoa. I was holding my hand there, holding the balloon, watching gas come out of it.
Whoa.
I'm like, whoa, I better turn the gas off.
Right.
And I grabbed the fucking thing, and I turned it the wrong way, turning it up. I was turning it up. The fucking gas was blasting the fuck out. My hand was in the way of that fucking... When I turned that shit off, fucking snow was blowing around the inside of the car.
You must have moved your arm quickly.
There was this fucking thing of ice, a cone of ice on the passenger door, like this fucking thick. It was a cone, frozen, stuck on the door. I was pounding it with my hand, trying to knock it off, and I couldn't. It was like fucking stuck on the door.
It's triple point.
I didn't even know I fucked up my finger until like 10 hours later.
Holy fuck, dude, that's crazy. How long did you have your frozen finger for?
Oh man, it took 6 weeks, 2 months. I mean, if you saw that thing, you'd be saying, oh, they're gonna have to cut that fucking thing off.
It never went back?
It was black, purple. It looked like fucking hard plastic. It was like that fucking hard on the end. I was thinking, right.
Fuck, that ain't right.
I can't feel nothing, right? I couldn't feel nothing in it. I never felt any pain or anything, cold or hot or nothing. All the while this happened, until it started coming back to life.
Weeks later?
Like weeks later.
Weeks later?
I could feel inside. It felt like I dipped my finger in a can of glue, and it was all covered with this, you know. But it was a live finger in there. I kept on mean. I was fucking...
Were you massaging it?
I was talking to it, massaging it.
Come on, baby. Reproduce yourself.
You got the plans. You made this one. You can make another one. Dr. Janiger wrapped it up that night and saw that this finger was like all swollen, twice as big as the other fingers. He's like, that ain't right. Let me wrap it up.
Who?
Dr. Janiger. He's the guy who told me to get the nitrous for Tim's birthday. He wrapped it up with adhesive tape, gauze, and some salve.
Okay, and salve. Just to keep it moist and...
Whatever. That didn't do shit. But when I pulled that adhesive tape off, I ripped a fucking hole in the blister and created a drain. And if it wasn't for that fucking drain, I probably would have lost a finger.
A drain? A drain?
It had a drain. It would get fucking swollen. I would squeeze it, and then yellow stuff would come oozing out.
Yuck.
Dude, I couldn't stand to look at it.
It was able to get rid of the dead tissue. Regenerate it. Get rid of it. Generate it.
I did research on the National Library of Medicine about frostbite treatment outcome. The most tissue was spared by returning to normal temperatures as slowly as possible. And vitamin C. I was too late for the first part, so I started taking vitamin C, and I'm telling you, the next day, I could tell it was like a turning point. Vitamin C, a fucking huge difference. I didn't realize vitamin C is necessary for cell repair, but it is. Since I did that, my fucking nails are like steel. That was like October 22nd, I think, his birthday.
75th birthday?
Right before Christmas. Yeah, it's about 8 weeks later, 2 months or so. My finger I could feel inside.
You could feel it, but it was still fucked up.
It was still covered with this dead shit.
Yeah?
But I could see the edge of it. I kept trimming it up to the edge of this fucking dead shit.
Whoa.
I came up underneath it. I was like, whoa! I got a pair of scissors, and I was just like slicing it. A big brand new finger in there, dude. It was like with a fingerprint, and I could feel with it. It was like, oh, thank you. It was the best fucking Christmas present ever.
That is so fucking bizarre.
I cut all that skin back around the nail. The nail still looked all fucked up, but the finger was like brand new. Now you can't even tell. It's astonishing.
That was a 2-month process?
2 months, to grow back.
From when the nail was all done and everything was perfect?
I don't know, about another month or so.
Kind of like Wolverine shit.
Oh, that's like fucking newt stuff or starfish.
Totally, Newt. You shall regenerate, you finger of Newt.
The universe has a lot of love for me. I don't doubt that. If there's a God, they have so much love for me. I cannot deny that.
That's killer. That reminds me, we gotta call Roland.
Totally.
Hi, Badger.
Hey, Roland. Cool to stop by? Looking for some software.
I'll be home in 20 minutes. Come on by.
Cool. See ya.
Later.
What's your name?
Funn Roberts. I like to make things, and one of the things I especially like to make is stuff with precious metals. This was a ingot of silver, a 2-ounce ingot of silver that I'm going to cut into 3 pieces and try to smash it to my will. It's interesting, the side that's got the stamps from the whoever made this ingot, I can feel the difference in the material because it's been stamped a little bit. It's a little bit harder on this side than it was on the other side. I've done welding and blacksmithing, and then I apprenticed with a silversmith in the early 2000s. Kind of a famous silversmith named Alan Adler. And I didn't really learn so much of what I do, but I learned a lot about just the nature of the metal and the nature of the business. And I had a hard time committing to the business of it because I get so much joy and pleasure out of doing it. I'm afraid to turn it into my job. But I also feel like that's a little bit of a cop-out because if I enjoy it so much, why not fucking do it more?
Mm-hmm.
So the reason that I use a chisel and not a saw is just the idea of keeping all the material.
Mm-hmm. That's it. That's totally. Makes sense.
I'm just separating it. It's like cheese. You could cut cheese with a saw, but you'd lose all that precious cheese.
Is there a metal you like to work more than others?
Precious metals are really special. Gold is really neat to work with because it's so malleable and soft. It's copper, kind of the universal metal. It's very, it just does, it's very easy and forgiving, and you can kind of use any different kind of technique with it. And it's very friendly in a way. I also like to work titanium, but titanium is the opposite of that. It's very, very resistant to your advances usually. It wants to stay how it is. It doesn't like you to tell it to do something else. Whereas silver is pretty middle of the road as far as very much it will do what you ask it to do. And gold is kind of like almost complicit, like it knows what you want before you do, and it kind of is trying to yield to your advances. We're just about through.
Jeez.
So from 1 to 3. So this was 2 ounces. So these are about, what was that, 2/3 of an ounce each? They feel substantial. And we didn't lose any of the mass of it.
Cool.
I just use oxypropane. Need to anneal these. You can use this sparker, but it's fucking sketch.
Bring it here.
Yeah, otherwise it's fucking... I'm annealing the silver, kind of using a little bit too much torch for it, but this when I worked the silver, like I was saying earlier, that like the side that they had stamped felt different than the side they hadn't, and it's because when they stamped it, when you work silver, it gets harder, and so because I just cut it up, it got harder, and so in order to keep working it, now I want it to get soft again, and so I'm just going to heat it up to red hot and put it in water, and that's called annealing, and it will soften the silver again. And I'll have to do that kind of over and over throughout this process. Also need to find what's that? No, I'm not gonna melt them down. I'm just gonna get them hot enough to turn red, and that's enough to soften them. I'm not gonna do any hot forging because it's too hard to hold on to those little things. So I'm going to do cold forging, but as I work the silver, it gets hard, and then I anneal it, and it gets soft again. So I just throw them in there. It might take a minute for this to warm up, but they'll warm up and get nice, and you'll see them. They'll get really nice and toasty hot, and then we'll throw them in some water and start banging on them some more. Oh, look at that guy. Nice and hot. Feel how hot it is.
That's some serious atom smashing.
It's funny, there's guys who've done they weigh everything and then they analyze it, and they find that it loses mass even if you don't, like just working it, some of the mass goes away. Yeah. My work, Middle Earth, ancient future kind of scenario. I really like high-tech materials. I discovered titanium and kind of fell in love with the material, and then the style that I like to do and what I've learned most of is mostly like hand, really a lot of more old world kind of techniques, and so combining old world techniques with ultra high-tech space age material kind of been the thing that I enjoy a lot. Hold on. That one got a little wet. this here is a spoon handle that's coming together. It will have one of these little titanium sheet metal bowls on it eventually. Just a little something to do while we're waiting for the other stuff to happen. Ah, 1872. French anvil called a Harmel Hublot. And a friend of mine was dealing in antique French furniture, and his boss had imported it from France. And he wanted my help moving some furniture one day. And I went and when I saw this, I was like, whoa, what do I got to do? What I got to do to get a hold of that? And he was like, well, if you help me move this furniture and give me $150, I'll let you have it. This is over 300-pound anvil, so the price goes up quite a bit once they start getting big. I had a Peter Wright anvil, which is kind of the standard that they measure all anvil and good quality anvil, but they're so loud. They really ring. This anvil I don't know if, I love it. I'm not sure how actually good it is. It's 1872, so pretty old. Could it, oh, just the hardness of the steel. You know, that's what makes a Peter Wright ring so much. I also had a Hay Budden, which is made in New York, and they're really good quality anvils. I am looking for something that has a hole in it that I can use I can punch that hole through. This feels so good to me to do this work. It's like any excuse to do this. You know, it doesn't matter to me what it is. Like if anybody asked me, hey, can you show me how to, can you make that? Can we do it? Blah, blah, blah. I'd be like, oh yeah, fucking come on, let's go. You know, like absolutely, like that's all I want to do. Like I've just been waiting for somebody to say, hey, let's do this. So here's my little bit of waste. Those 3 little dingles, they're gonna be massive. I just need the holes.
Other materials, your jade is pretty crazy, stone and wood, you're pretty much a all material guy.
Pretty much, yeah.
What drives you into this?
I don't know, it just kind of discover them. You're kind of like, you see something that's interesting and then I kind of feel like, oh wow, what's that? How does that work? What can I do with that? Like the jade, it just was a random thing. It just like I discovered, you know, I was up in Big Sur and I went to Jade Cove and I tricked myself into thinking I had found jade. I found a bunch of serpentine and was like, oh, but then it was really exciting. So then I started finding stuff and then just like, oh, and then finding the tools and finding the different people in my life who had some experience with some of that. Or I've always liked finding stuff. The best finding for me, I love to just walk around and look at the ground. It's always a special thing when you can find something that has some intrinsic value but also has this intrinsic feeling. And then with the jade, it was like when I think it was somehow related to the titanium, you know, in some weird way, because it was like this magical material. And then I started learning about jade a little bit more and realizing that, wow, this was what, you know, before there was copper, before they discovered copper, they were making tools out of jade. And so it was like, wow, and they were doing it all over the world. They were doing it in New Zealand, and they were doing it in Canada, or, you know, they were doing it in Guatemala. They were doing it in these interesting places that were just like, and it had this incredible, you know, history for mankind as this, you know, somewhat indestructible, you know, an incredibly useful material. And so it was just like kind of tapping into the history of man a little bit. And then also kind of tapping into just like, well, what is this stuff? What is this? How does this work? So I had punched through this side and I knocked out a little chunk that looked like this. This little piece that came out of there. And then now I'm taking the same tool, which is just a simple center punch, and just opening the hole. Don't want to lose that one. Ugh. I heard a really interesting concept the other day about wood, and it was like, in the universe, wood may be one of the rarest things there is. Like, we think of diamonds and gold, and oh, these are really rare. But on a universal scale, they're actually kind of common. In the cosmos, diamonds are not that rare. Gold is not that rare, it's everywhere. But wood is this thing that's like, hey, this is something that is only, they don't think they haven't found any other planets like this. It changed the way that I think about wood, because I was like, oh, I really appreciate wood. But I was also, but it was like, oh wow, imagine that this is the rarest substance in the universe. In the universe. Isn't that a cool concept? This chunk of koa wood, this stuff has been extinct for fucking 1 million years. On Earth. Yeah, it's been extinct on Earth for 1 million years, I've got a bunch of petrified wood and also the petrified whalebone. That's the thing that to me is just like, it's really neat,
Yeah. You're not gonna find that on fucking Pluto.
I'm gonna have to switch hammers here pretty soon. That's the bludgeon. I want these to be a little bit finer. This is a practice at making rings, and I kind of feel like this would be a fun way to make their rings, To me, it's something really special when you take a hunk of metal and you put a hole in it, rather than taking a strip of metal and turning it into a ring, Fucking 3-ring circus right here.
For the circus.
I might just keep smashing it through here. It's kind of easier to push it like with a taper than it is to beat on it. Well, it's interesting. There's a concept about, play and work. Doesn't necessarily mean art, but there's this concept about play and work. And for me, there's part of the reason that this is hard for me to make into work is because it's so playful. I really enjoy the play of this. Like, even though I've honed it enough that I know how to do it, it still is like, it's very playful. Like, I'm like, oh, I'm playing around, and so it's like, which gives me a lot, it's not as serious. It's hard I don't take it that seriously, One ring to fool them, another to school them. One to make it a circus. This may be the last heat, and the work hardening, even though it's not that much harder, it will make a big make a big difference in the wearability of it, like how much it deforms. Fucking rad. Solid as a motherfucker.
That's this other one you made me.
I searched out people who knew what they were doing. And I said, how can I learn from you? You know, or they searched me out, but it was always this thing where it was like there was this transfer of information and knowledge that came from, you know, somebody who knew what the fuck they were doing. I didn't, you know, all I did was like clean the shop and fucking do the stuff, you know, do the basic stuff, and then slowly over time as I was around, they would give me more and more stuff to do. They never really taught me how to do anything. They just said, here, do this. You know, don't worry, you can figure it out. Or, oh, wow, what the fuck am I doing here? How do I do this part? And they're like, look, you just use the, you know, use this tool or that tool. And, you know, so I think it was really just without having any thought about humbleness or without having any thought about what I was doing. It was just like saying, wow, you're amazing. Like, this, what you're doing is so cool. Like, what can I, you know, can I do that? How can I do that too? And that was the real thing that I think, you know, that drove me to doing all the things. And I think it's really just like looking for somebody who knows more than, you know, who knows more than the average bear. You know, definitely knows more than me. Usually if you approach somebody and you want to learn from them, they're open, they're ready to, they want to tell you, they want to show you, especially if you're interested in your, you know, try this one out. I'm liking that one the most now. It's a little smaller than the other two. Yeah, we'll just sand it out to 220 and then we'll buff it out a little bit. They're all the right size now, so.
They all have different flavor.
Yeah. They're different. I like that one too. I like all of them.
Yeah, totally.
Hey Cougar, happy 16th birthday. Yeah, good friends are worth keeping.
3 rings. Success breeds access. Failure breeds success.
Back at it. Welcome to Sonics. I'm still doing the incline, and this has been tightened up quite a bit. That angle put on, cleaned up all nice and tight. Now that's going to be put onto this piece. Just these fingerlings. So I'm just going to continue on with that. I don't mind imperfections. It shows my hand. You know, my hands made this. It wasn't a machine. So if I were to do it like this piece, I would do it on the bottom and then fit that in there like that. So this one's going to be glued just like that. Boop. But if I were to do the bottom or the top now, if I glue it to the side, that gives me more room to glue like that. So this is going to be the side compression, which is going to be its own separate thing. This is going to be, so if I glue it on the bottom, then that makes a little, almost like a little step. But then I have to glue this in place. I think I have to ruminate on this, and I think I have to think a little bit about that before I jump in gluing. Because I just want to do it. I think it's going to just do the side. Do the side. I'm going to do the side. I'm going to fit that in there. That's going to be all like spiffaroo. Right? I'll do it to that angle. Then this one gets fit in. I'm going to get this set up to glue. It's very close. Crinkly crinkles. Shabanger. Look at that. That's under some serious attention. Alright, I think I'm ready for gluing. Glue, glue, glue. Glue your booty. Glue, glue, glue. Boom, boom. Top. I'm just gonna do it. I'm just gonna do it. Here we go. Sometimes a finger is the best tool. Glued in place. It's already warping just because of the glue. I dig it. All right, shout out to Stu Mac and its suppliers for getting cool materials for builders. Stu Mac. Look them up. Oh yeah. No better time than right now. Right now, we live in a right now kind of place. We live right now. Right now. Right now. Mm-hmm. I do that. Yeah, still. I'm going to do one side at a time. Yep. Right in there. Mm-hmm. Square knot, square knot. Do-do-do-do-do-do. Kind of like the new gluing technique. Not tweaking out too much about anything. It really is sweet. All right, you're gonna let this glue, then the other side, then this, and then I'm gonna glue it onto that, and then it just and it worked out perfectly. Woo, that is really nice. That is where the pressure is going to go pre-tensiled Oh, look at that. I'm going to say that's a G. My ears hear G. G, G, G. Yeah, we'll see. Let's see what it is. B, G, B, 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 B. All right, I said a G. I pretty much is a G. G, G, G. There you go, G. Now C. So this is going to be glued on to that. I think I'm going to glue this on before I glue this up, because I'm going to put a beam through there and clamp it all down. I think I'm going to get ready for that. I like it. And then another one right there. Always helps to have some big clamps. Rubber bands aren't going to work for this one. Oh yeah. That should squish it extraordinarily.
It is alive. That tinsel really did it. Making it warp right here. It's alive. Wow, it's really, really as good as I thought it would be. Sand this up now and make I'm gonna bend up one more. I found the metal to bend up another dancer. B, D, B, B. I just uncoiled that right there. From that to that. Everybody settle down. Come on now. I like to try to reverse direction every once in a while. Bring in any more tension. Yeah. Because I want to. Do you talk to yourself? Who talks to yourself? I talk to myself all the time. And it's really nice to have some other perspective, like you. I don't think I'm that strange. Oh yeah. So. You can see like every little move affects another move. So that really depends on if I want you to be that way or that way. Like that. See if that can be. These have quite the swing. You could be closer there, you're there. I gotta figure out the hole. All right, here we go. Next up. Calm yourself and read the signs. Take no shame and know your mind. Get a grip of you know who. You be you and everybody too. Then you do what you can do. Know yourself and push your bubble. Take no shit when you're in trouble. Share your grace and hold what's real. People are persons, it's what you feel. Calm yourself and read the signs. Take no shame and know your mind.